Hey guys, this is Kenji here. Nice meeting you all again. This is my third video. Um, I feel like this is kind of like still a little awkward for me. Recording videos about myself, even listening to my own voice feels really weird and cringy, right? So that's why I, yeah, I don't know. Like I can't like I have my face like kind of like out of frame, right? Because I just can't stand looking at my face. It's so weird, and I mean, I'm generally really self-conscious and self-conscious about my looks, my appearance. I don't really like my face. I feel like I'm really ugly. So yeah, like please excuse my face being out of the frame because yeah, I feel like this is better this way, at least for now. Um, Anyways, what was gonna say? Yeah, so in this video, I actually wanted to talk about my personal experience living as a 5'6" Asian guy. So as you know, being 5'6" is not ideal, right? I mean, if you could choose between being born in a 5'6" body or height and being born into 6 foot height, which one would you choose? I'm pretty sure most guys, right, most men would choose the 6 foot, right? Why is that? Like, why would most guys prefer to choose, prefer to be born into a 6 foot body instead of 5'6" or even, I don't know, shorter, right? Because generally, being tall, it's a desirable trait. It's what most women prefer, would want, right? I mean, like there's a lot of studies out there that shows correlation. There's a lot of correlation, like studies that shows correlation between the height and anything else, right? It could be money, it could be matching rate on dating apps, or um, I don't know, like it could be income. Um, yeah, like just the taller you are, I think in general, okay, like this is not applicable to every case, but in general, from generally speaking, yeah, like taller height means more desirable trait, right? Like, I mean, if you go on like dating apps like Tinder, I don't know, like or Hinge, whatever, like there are a lot of a handful of girls that would strictly like prefer to date only guys that are 6 foot or taller, right? Um, that's their preference, right? Like, but like, why is it that like taller guys are much more preferable, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of evolutionary explanation for that. Maybe taller means, you know, stronger, right? So when you're stronger, that means you're able to, or you're better equipped to protect your partner, right? You're better equipped to survive and I don't know, in the animal kingdom, right? Because you're stronger, you're taller and stronger. You have more muscle mass, you're heavier, right? And some people might argue that, oh, like taller guys tend to have like bigger penis. I'm pretty sure this is not an established study, but I think this is still some consensus between like, or just general consensus, right? But anyways, taller guys, like they're taller, higher stature, whatever, it just generally looks better too, right? But anyways, yeah, I think like, so like me as 5'6" guy, um, hasn't been so pleasant, I should say. Like being in this 5'6" foot body is not, it's not easy, especially when it comes to dating, right? Um, like when I was on dating apps, like I had some women straight up ask me like, "Oh, how tall are you?" Because usually wouldn't like put that on my profile, I guess, because I know that's not necessarily a desirable trait. So like I don't know, like I just didn't want to be like ruled out right away because like I don't know, my height doesn't qualify for their standards. Um yeah, so like yeah, like sometimes like even before like after we match and like we talk, right? And like I don't know, like our conversation goes pretty like good. Um and then we're about to like set up a date or yeah, like a date or day like to meet up. And then all of a sudden like out of blue like oh like they would ask me, "Oh, like by the way, how tall are you?" Right? By the way, how tall are you? Like what's your height? You never got to like tell me how tall you are, right? And I'll be like, "Oh, I'm 5'6". Is that gonna be a problem?" I swear, like sometimes just as soon as I tell them like I'm 5'6", I get unmatched. I get unmatched or they just ghost me, right? Like they just like leave me my message blind or like unread, right? Or sometimes like girls don't even bother to ask how tall I am until we meet up. But then like even if no matter how good our conversation went before we met up, like yeah, like when we meet up, like I can already tell maybe it could be my projection too. Like it could be my insecurity, but like as I'm walking like towards her, like I can kind of see like a disappointed look on her face, right? And obviously like the date does not go well. Hmm. And this wasn't necessarily a few exceptions, right? Like I feel like in general, I think this has been my experience where my height felt like a dictating factor when it comes to dating. And I remember like reading um like a study they did like on OkCupid dating app or whatever, like some dating apps where they pretty much showed um how taller guys have better higher matching rate compared to like shorter guys, right? So basically yeah, like shorter guys like me, like myself, like who's 5'6", 5'7", I don't know, like or 5'5", or even shorter, it's really tough like to get any matches on any dating apps. And it's quite frustrating because I did not choose to be born into this short height, right? But somehow have to suffer, I have to struggle in this body or due to this body, right? And more unfortunate factor is that there's nothing I can do about it, right? Like what do you do about the height? Like okay, like if someone is like overweight, okay, you can like work out, maybe work on your diet, right? Maybe you can try to eat less or healthier and work out, and you can kind of like try to lose weight and get that like try to get that like more lean body, right? You can kind of like try to sculpt at least like to some extent your body shape. You can try to lose weight, right? Let's say you're born into I don't know like not so appealing face. Okay, like there's still stuff you can do, right? Like you could maybe go to a dermatologist to get a I don't know like get some treatments to get better skin, do some like skincare routine, get a better haircut, for women, or not, I mean not for women, but like for guys, like generally like things that like things that are not height, there's still areas where you could choose to improve or change, right? But like what do you do about the height? Like what can you do with height? And people can talk like, I guess like you can talk like you can suggest like, oh, like get a leg lengthening surgery, but I don't know, like that's not really a safe surgery per se. Like I've like looked it up and it seems like there's a lot of complications. There can be a lot of complications where you could actually end up like pretty much crippled for the rest of your life if the surgery does not go well. There's a lot of risks involved in that, right? So I feel like that's not really a viable option, right? Unless, okay, like if let's say like that's like last resort. But like I don't think I don't think I would even ever want to consider that because I don't know, like it's just so scary. It's not really an option for me. Like ending up with complications, that's wow, that's I feel like that's gonna be end of my life, right? But anyways, yeah, so like what can I do with this short height? Like there's nothing I can change. But everywhere I go, especially like in the dating world, I'm judged based off of my height. And some may argue that like, oh hey, like just you gotta work on your personality and like yeah, sure, like I do try to work on my personality and I think like generally I get along with most people and I think I'm pretty like usually I don't know, like I'm easygoing, easy to get along with. Yeah, I feel like I generally get a lot of like compliments on my personality. I don't know, it sounds weird like that I say it, but like people have told me that like I'm pretty chill, right? To hang out with. But personality, like the thing is that if you can't like get past the physical appearance attraction like stage, which is like the initial stage of dating or I don't know, like finding a partner, like the very first stage is that you have to be physically attracted to that person, right? And in order for a lot of women to be physically attracted to the guy, yeah, like there has to be like chemistry, right? And that chemistry comes a lot often. More, I feel like more often than not, like stems from like being like having the physical attraction that has to do with biological factors such as like men's height, obviously like shoulder, like the width of shoulder if they have broad shoulder, right? Um, maybe like face, right? Style and whatnot. But it's all like physical and it's all like outside, right? So like the woman has to be physically attracted to that person even before they kind of like I don't know feel your personality, right? So even if like I wanted to show like to a woman like how great of a personality I may have, if they're not physically attracted to me, like it's no use. They're not gonna be able to look beyond my physical traits to care or to be swayed by my personality, right? Because yeah, it's just not how it works. You have to be physically attracted to that person. Sometimes like I feel like it's depressing. Sometimes I feel like I've been wronged. Sometimes I feel this like a really huge sense of unfairness, like unjust, almost feels cruel. Like, what did I deserve, or what did I do to deserve to be born into this inferior body? I'm not even like average. I'm like way below average. And there's nothing I can do about it. It's not about effort when it comes to height. You're pretty much stuck with it the moment you're born for the rest of your life. And often, like when I share my frustration with this about my height, I don't know. I feel like sometimes um, I feel like people dismiss it as if it's not that important, or as if I'm being really negative, as if like I'm being really, really pessimistic, or as if like I'm making up excuses to not work on myself. But I don't know. Like, I mean, I think there is some truth to that, but still, my experience is real. It's not completely made up or just um it's not completely skewed in a negative light, right? I don't think it's completely that biased. Like, I feel like my experience is real. Even if it's subjective experience, I think there is still some objectivity to it, right? How men that are short tend to have a harder time in the dating scenes, right? So yeah, that is my experience. Like, that is how I feel. And does that mean like have to like or am I am doomed and I am destined to just complain and whine and rant about life, how like unjust, unfair life is? I don't think that's healthy. I completely acknowledge that. And I feel like if I do that, I think that's completely missing or I think it's completely distorting um the other parts of my life where I might have been actually gifted with some strength, right? But I don't know. When it comes to dating, again, I just can't help myself but to feel negative. It's so like sad. And I don't like being negative. I don't want to be negative. But sometimes I feel like it's just how it is. It's just so hard, you know? Some guys that are like 6 feet or I don't know, like tall, I feel like they have it way easier when it comes to dating, right? They don't even have to like try that hard. I mean, I've seen this firsthand, like with my friends that are like tall and good looking and like they don't even try. But like sometimes I feel like just to it may sound like blunt, but like with these friends, like girls, like literally they throw themselves at them, right? Like they they don't sometimes they don't even know like what to do with all these women that are throwing themselves at them because like yeah, they're tall and good looking and mm, yeah, yeah, so like I hope this didn't sound too like negative, but I was just trying to like, I don't know, just share like my personal experience. And yeah, I mean, just let me know what your thoughts are. Yeah, in the comments. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.